Hi guys, this is Miss Tier. I just wanted to make this video to kind of introduce you to your TC Moodle page. I'm more familiar with it from a faculty standpoint, but I just kind of want to show you the basics because Moodle is going to be incredibly important to your success in the class because it is a hybrid class. You will be doing a majority of your activities on Moodle. If you are in lecture, you'll be taking your test on Moodle. If you're in lab, your tests are going to be in person. And so I'm going to kind of show you, because I teach both lecture and lab, I'm going to include both components in this video. But I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. More than likely, you guys are probably more familiar with computer programs like this than I am. It's still kind of new to me. But I just want to show you some of the basics. So when you go to access your Moodle page, and hopefully you're watching this before class starts. If not, it's okay. You can get caught up. But when you go to just the Texarkana College site, first off, in my Google bar up here, you can see that there's a Moodle link there. But if you click on current students, it should pull up just a page with important sites and links. And so this right here is going to be your Moodle link. And so you can click on it from there. Now, depending on what your schedule is, you should it should pop up if your professors use this. It should pop up with the courses that you are in. And as you can see, for me, these are courses that I've accessed, which are the courses that I'm teaching this semester. And so you should be able to access your Moodle page for your classes right here. Now, I'm actually going to show you from a different viewpoint. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on my end and kind of just show you what the anatomy Moodle pages look like. So for instance, this right here is our Moodle page for lecture. And yours is going to look a little bit different than mine because when you pull yours up, if you notice, I don't have all of these lectures published yet. And so when you pull up your Moodle page, you're just going to see what's been made available to you. And so you should have a welcome page. You're going to have a page for your syllabus. There's going to be a page just for general course information and resources, and I kind of want to show you those. For both lecture and lab, you're going to have very similar beginnings to your Moodle page. And then as you can see, everything's broken down by the lecture tests. So it's kind of organized. And I did not want to open up all of your lecture tests to you. I want to make sure that you guys are working in the right unit. You really don't have time to work ahead too much, but just to make sure we're not getting into units too soon or taking tests in the wrong unit, I kind of organized it this way. So that way, as we get ready to finish up lecture test 1, then I'll open up lecture test 2 and so forth. Lab is organized in the same way, and I'll show you that one here in a moment. And so just for everybody, when you first open up your Moodle page, there is going to be this welcome page. And it's going to have some general information on it for you, like the class that you're in and when it's starting. And then there's going to be some activities that you have to do in order to get started to the class. So you will not be able to actually even do anything in lecture test 1 or lab practical 1 until you've completed some activities up here in the beginning of the Moodle. And so for both lecture and lab, there's a video that you need to watch, and there's it's just going over this PowerPoint here. And so pretty much it's fairly easy to follow. You just kind of have to scroll down and just do things in the order as they appear. Now, if you've never been on Moodle before, just some kind of helpful tips. So you should be able to see how there's a check mark there. When you've completed assignments, you should be able to check them off just to kind of show that you have done that. Now this one here, you notice there's some conditions. So you can't just check it and say that you've watched the video. Like, you're actually going to have to watch the video. I try to keep them short and sweet as much as possible. But you're going to have to watch the video. You may, in fact, have already done that before you're watching this Moodle video, and that's great. But you're going to have to watch the video, and then you'll get a completion there. And then once you've watched the video, then there's a quiz. So you don't necessarily have to go through the PowerPoint. This is what the video covers, but if you wanted access, there's the PowerPoint that goes along with the video. And so on the quiz, notice there's a lock on it. And so if you click on the lock, it tells you what you have to do. So a lock means there's a restriction. So this is not going to be available until you actually watch the welcome video and it's been marked complete. Okay, so if you're having trouble opening this or you can't find it, it's because you need to make sure you go back and watch the welcome video. This is really kind of short and sweet and easy. Just make sure that you do it. Now, as you scroll down, there's going to be another video. This is the one, actually the video that I'm making now, which is how to navigate Moodle. And then there's going to be a little quiz over the Moodle. Now, as you continue to scroll down, so this says you've now completed everything. Now, you won't see all of this. This is going to be just on my teacher view. But when you scroll all the way down, once all of your materials are done, there's going to be an arrow, so you can now go to the next section, or you can always come back up to the top, okay? Anytime you're not sure where you are or where you need to go, you can always come back up to the top. There's always going to be some links up here that will take you back to where you need to be. So there's a couple of different ways that you can move throughout the Moodle. You can either come back up to the beginning of the page, or at the end of each page it will take you to the next section. And so when we go to the next section, you can see that there's a syllabus area. Once again, we have a required assignment. Anything that's going to be for a grade is normally in red, and so it's always labeled very clearly if it's a graded assignment or not. And so once again, you scroll down, okay, there you're going to see, I'm actually going to switch over to student view really quick, so that way we can see what it would look like to you guys. So you can see it looks a little bit different. So when I click on the syllabus page, okay, there's your course syllabus. You can always print one off if you'd like it. There's a video that goes over the syllabus, and then you have a quiz to take, okay? So the quiz is for a grade. Notice you don't necessarily have to watch the video in order to progress to the quiz, so it's up to you. You could just open up the document and skim through it. That would be fine. But then you have the ability to check that you've done it. And so as you scroll on down, once again, it's going to be in red. There's our graded activity. So you can click on it. You have a couple of times to take it. It is timed. Everything's timed. Otherwise, it won't ever shut down. So, but I will tell you that there are, in the embedded questions, there are pictures of the syllabus that you'll need to answer them. So you don't necessarily have to have it printed off beside you as you're taking the quiz. Now, once you get through the syllabus quiz, now you're actually ready to start the course material. So when you get in here, this is not going to be available until you have done the welcome video, the Moodle video, and the syllabus quiz. Okay, you've got those 3 quizzes that you need to take. Now this page here is just some general course information. This is a great place to reference when you need it. So it's got my information, it's got our course schedule. This is also in the syllabus. Now the textbook information, you can download it for free. We won't be using the textbook a whole lot, I'll be honest with you. It's a great resource, but it's not something that you're going to be using in class every day. We're going to be using our packets, but you do have access to it for free. You do need to have the handouts, okay? They're created by Miss Grisham, but I will be using them in my courses, so you'll need to be sure you have those. Some testing center information, how to access the TC service desk. A lot of this stuff was in your syllabus, and it was also in the welcome video. This is going to be some important information here. You have information about our tutors. Now this was for the last semester. These times may change. I'm going to continue to use this video semester to semester, and so in the future these times may be different, but you can always check out this tutor section. And something else I've posted is a how to study PowerPoint. That's one thing that I've found over my years of teaching, is that sometimes students just simply don't know how to study. So there's a PowerPoint here, and there's some embedded links that one of our tutors has made, and some videos, and so I would encourage you to check that out. And so that's kind of what it's going to look like to you. And then as you get into lecture test 1, notice it says it's not available until you have taken that syllabus quiz. So just be sure you do everything that you need to do. Now once you get into the lecture material, it's pretty much the same format each time. Okay, so you have just some important dates. Once again, this is going to change for future semesters, but you have some important dates. Everything's always announced and very bold and in multiple places. So like this particular lecture covers chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now, Below this, you would have material, okay? So I want to show you what it would look like when you actually have access. Once you have done all of those materials, when you go into your lecture materials, there's actually going to be things for you to do, okay? So it usually starts with the things that you need to know. So for lecture, there's objectives, there's word bits, there's the possible essay questions. These things are also in the packet that you purchased, but if you needed to pull them up on Moodle, they are available. Your PowerPoints, I also create fill-in-the-blank note sheets, and so your PowerPoints and the fill-in-the-blank note sheets, I actually will provide these in class, but if you wanted to print them off, if you missed or something like that, you have access to them. So your test questions, your quiz questions, everything comes from these PowerPoints, and so you have access to those. You also have videos, okay, so it's pretty much just me going over the PowerPoint like I would in class, but there are times that we don't get to finish, and so there are things that you're going to be responsible for doing on your own, and so these are the videos that go along with the PowerPoints. This particular one's broken down into Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, so you can see that there's just, sometimes they're pretty short, depends on the topic, some are a little bit longer than others. Sometimes they cover more than one objective, sometimes they just cover one objective, depending on the content. And so you also have some study materials. These are not necessarily things that you have to do, okay, but a lot of these are in your packet as well. There's some practice activities. Some units have more practice activities than others. This first unit has a lot more, but notice it doesn't say for a grade, okay, they're not required. You don't have to do these. Should you do them? Probably. It could be helpful to you, but it's not something you have to do. Now, as you continue to scroll, so all of these are practice activities. These are your same thing for Chapter 2. You've got some helpful handouts and some practice activities. And then once you get down to the bottom, this is where you're going to find the activities that are required. You actually get a grade for them. Notice they're labeled in red, graded activity. On the activity itself, it'll say for a grade, okay? And so for each unit, all of your activities that are graded are due the day that the lecture test closes at midnight. So if you scroll back up to the top, we'll do that here in a minute. Everything for this particular unit for this semester you can see is due on October 21st. That will vary depending on the semester, but everything is due on the same day. The test must be completed and all of the activities must be done by a certain deadline. And I do not take late assignments. You have multiple days to do these, so please don't wait until the last minute. But you can see all of your graded activities are here. Okay, this one here on these videos, you have to be sure to press the submit screen in order to get credit. Some of them you only have one attempt. Some activities you have multiple attempts to get the grade that you want. But you can see all of your assignments are there and they're labeled as graded. Now for your lecture test, these are going to be taken in the testing center. You can only take them in the testing center. And so when you go to the testing center, you'll check in and then you will take your test on your computer on your Moodle page. And so that's the way the lecture ones are kind of laid out. If you're in a lab class, it's pretty much the same basic format, but I just kind of want to show you there's a couple of differences. So once again, we have the welcome page, the syllabus, the course, basic course information, your welcome page material, and your syllabus quiz. They all have to be done before you can access the practicals. Once again, they're going to open up as we move through the course. So you're going to start with Lab Practical 1. And so really the only differences here is that number one, the lab tests are taken in class in an actual lab, and so you won't be going to the testing center for those. As always, it starts off with due dates, and then it's broken down by your different exercises. Now this first lab practical has a lot of different topics, and so there's more exercises and notes than what you'll find on some of the other units. But once again, if you just scroll down, as you go through, you can check off what you've done. So here's exercise 1. You're going to have PowerPoints. There could be handouts. These are going to be in the packets for lab. There's going to be activities. And so these are not necessarily all at the very end. So as you work your way through, you have a topic, you have notes. Sometimes there's videos to go along with the notes. It just depends on the topic. And then you have your exercises. So once again, it's in red. It tells you it's for a grade. Everything is due on the same day, the day that we take the lab practical. So you can see that all of these are exercise 1. As we continue to scroll, you're going to come across exercise 2. And so once again, you have a set of notes. The PowerPoints go along with your packets. There's some videos to go along with this one. I'm still using Miss Grisham's lab materials, so these videos are not my own. I'll work on converting them over time. And then you've got more activities for a grade. Once again, they're all labeled. So this particular lab actually has a lot more activities and a lot more topics than some of your others. So it's a little bit longer, but it's still the basic format all the way down. So you have notes, videos, handouts, and then you have graded activities. And so it should be very clear, everything that you need to do and complete. Everything has a deadline on it. And that's how you're going to access your Moodle. Pretty much anything you need to be successful in the class is going to be found on your Moodle page. And so I do have the gradebook for Moodle turned off. We will not be using gradebook in Moodle. I'll be putting all of your grades in Jenzabar. So there is a gradebook, but sometimes they don't always match and it can just cause problems. So if you want to check your grades, we're going to be using Jenzabar for that. And I think that takes care of everything for your Moodle. If you have any other questions as you're working through, just let me know. Hopefully you'll get comfortable with it pretty quickly, because as I said earlier in the video, it pretty much is one of the most important things when it comes to your success in the class. So please take advantage of all the resources that are available and ask questions if you have them. I look forward to working with you guys over the next semester.